Hi, Algebra 1. We're going to be skipping a few pages in the book. First thing, though, is if you needed more time on the quiz or you didn't take the quiz from this past Friday, which was November 10th, you need to come see me on an off period so you can get it done sometime this week, please. And just come in, even if I have a class, you're welcome to come in the period and work on it. So we are going to be on page 151. We're skipping a bunch of pages on a concept, which is okay. It has to do with something called absolute value. We're not going to be doing absolute value this year, but that's okay. You'll be fine. So on page 151, let's see. Let's come through. All right, there's an awful lot of information here. Um, Basically, the most important key factors here is when you have these, there's going to be a solid line, and if you have these, it'll be a dashed line. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about, and we're talking about shading some regions. So the first thing we want to know, this is an inequality problem. So 6x plus 8y is greater than 20. So we want to know, is this point one of the solutions? So I know I have an x and a y value. I'm going to plug those in. So there was an x right there. There was a y right here. And we're going to plug in -1 here, and we're going to plug 3 here. Let's do the math. 6 times -1 is -6, plus 8 times 3 is 24, and we want to know if that's going to be greater than 20. And so -6 plus 24 is 18. Is 18 greater than 20? No, this is false. So the point -1 comma 3 is not a solution. Okay. Let's see, let's move forward on this next one. Okay, we're going to take a look to see if this point here is a solution. So I have 3, there was an x there, -4, there was a y there. Is that less than 14? So let's go ahead and plug these values in. So I have a -2, which is my x value, and 1/2, which is my y value. 3 times -2 is -6. -4 times half is -2, is less than 14. Combine those together, that's going to give me -8. Is -8 less than 14? This is true. So the point -2 comma 1/2 is a solution. Let me know if you have any questions about this. We're going to work a few more problems that are very similar to this as we go down the page. Okay, again, we're going to check to see if this is a solution. That's an x and a y value. So we're going to plug things in. So I have, first thing, -10, because that's the y value. It's less than or equal to 3 times -2 minus 4. Let's do the math. 3 times -2 is -6. -6 minus 4 is -10 less than or equal to -10. This is kind of a little tricky sometimes to think about. -10 is not less than -10, but because I have the equal sign there, -10 is indeed equal to -10. So yes, -2 comma -10 is a solution. If I didn't have that equal sign at the bottom, it would not have worked. Let's take a look at number 4, x and y. So I have 2 greater than 1/2. There was an x there, and now it's going to be a 10. Is 2 greater than, well, what half of 10 is 5? 5 minus 7. Is 2 greater than -2? Do I have an equal sign as any of my inequalities here? And the answer is no. So this is not, oh wait, 2 is greater than -2. So yes, this is a solution. Okay. On a side note, if this answer had been this, or if they're both positive 2, that would have been not a solution, but that's not how it worked out. Next problem, this is an x, this is a y. So let's plug the values in. So I get 7 minus 7 because the y is a 7. Is that greater than -2 plus 2? Is 0, 7 minus 7 is 0, greater than -4? So think about that. Is 0 a bigger number than -4? 0 is not bigger than 4, but it's further to the right on the number line, the -4. So yes, solution. Oh, and the little tricky one. I don't have a y value. I only have an x value. So the only thing I can use is this 3. Is 3 less than 5? And yes, it is a solution. Remember, x equals the numbers of vertical lines, so we're going to see that in a little bit. All right, I'm going to be on page 152. So we're going to graph these just like we had done. So this looks like it would have been this type of equation, which means my y-intercept is 0, -5, which is down here. My slope is that 2, so I want to make that 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1. Now, because I have an equal sign right here, it's going to be a solid line. Now, this is where it's going to be a little bit different. Because it's an inequality, we want to figure out, do I want to shade over on this side of our graph, or do I want to shade on this side? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a test point. 0, 0 is definitely on the left side of the line. So plug 0, 0 in, and let's see if it works. So 0 is a y value. 2 is greater than 2 times 0 minus 5. Is 0 greater than 0 minus 5? Is 0 greater than or equal to -5? Yes, it is. So that means I'm going to shade the side that 0, 0 is on. So I'm going to shade this side over here. So if I picked any points over here, they would make a true statement. Okay, so let's see what happens if we go a little bit further. Let's try the next one. Again, this is graphed the same way, so I'm going to get 0, 2 for my y-intercept. Because of that, I have a slope of 1 over 3. So I'm going to go up 1, right 3. Okay, being that I don't have an equal sign here, that means this is going to be a dotted line. Okay, that means that I don't include the line. If there was an equal sign underneath, it would be a solid line. Now I'm going to pick my point 0, 0. That's a good test point. Some of you might ask, what if it goes right through 0, 0? Then pick another point that's easy to use. So plug 0, 0 into our equation. Is 0 less than 1/3 times 0 plus 2? Is 0 less than 0 plus 2? Is 0 less than 2? Is 0 less than 2? Yes. So I'm going to shade the side that the test point's on. This is down here is true. So all down here, if I picked any of these points down here, it would give me a true statement. Make sure you ask me if you have any questions. Let's move on to the next problem. All right, this one is going to be our x and our y-intercept. So remember, our x-intercept is going to be blank, 0. Our y-intercept is going to be 0, blank. It's done the same way we had been graphing these. So this is a y value. So on the top one, I'm going to get 2x equals 12. Divide both sides by 2. So x equals 6. So 6, 0 is right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and do this point. So I'm going to make that 0. So I have 6y is greater than 12. Or let's make it equals. Divide each side by 6, so y equals 2. So 0, 2 is right here. I don't have an equal sign, so this is going to be a dotted line. And it looks like my test point 0, 0 is going to work. It's below it. So we're going to plug 0, 0 into our equation. For our x is 0 and our y is 0. And now I'm going back to the inequality sign. 2 times 0 and 6 times 0, those are both 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Is 0 bigger than 12? This is false. So we're going to shade the other side, the side that does not have 0, 0 on it. So notice, I'm shading the top side of this graph. If I picked any points up here, any of those points would work. But anything that's below that line where the 0, 0 is, or any of those other dots, they wouldn't work. Okay, so much I have a problem. I have my x value, which is blank, 0. My y value, which is 0, blank. Okay, let's solve this one. That's taking out the y, so I get 5x equals 15. Divide both sides by 5, so I get 3. So here's 3, 0. This is an x value, so I'm going to get negative 3y equals 15. Divide both sides by negative 3. So I'm going to get y equals negative 5. 0, negative 5 is down here. This is going to be a solid line because I have that little equal sign. So that's our equation. It's solid because it has the equal. Now we're going to pick our test point. Does 0, 0 work? Does 0, 0 work? So I'm going to get 5 times 0 minus 3 times 0. Is that less than 15? 5 times 0 and 3 times 0 are both 0. 0 subtract 0 is still 0. Is 0 less than 15? And that's true. So that means I'm going to shade the side of our line that has 0, 0 on it. So I'm going to shade over here. This is where my answer is. If I picked any points in that yellow region, it would give me a true statement. Oh, this is one of the point slope ones. So I'm going to do opposite of this, which is 5. I'm going to do opposite of this, which is 4. So that's my first point. So right 5, up 4. See how this stays with our chapter? And our slope is going to be 1 over 3. Remember, here's my slope. So I'm going to go up 1, right 3. Is this going to be a solid or a dotted line? Do I have a line underneath it? Nope. This is a dotted line. So I think we can use 0, 0 to work again. And let's plug those values in. So y minus 4, so that's 0 minus 4. Is that less than 1/3 times 0 minus 5? Is negative 4 less than, this is 1/3 times negative 5. So that's going to be, is negative 4 less than negative 5/3? Negative 4 is indeed, this is negative 1 2/3. This number here, negative 4, is further to the left. So this is true because it's further to the left. That means I'm going to shade the region that the 0, 0 is on. So it's down here. Again, the 0, 0 is called the test point. If our line went right through 0, 0, we pick something else. So other test points that might work is like 10, 0 or 0, negative 10. I bet you those could work in a lot of cases. Here's one of our special cases. This is y equals 2. So I'm going to put a dot here. This is going to be a solid line because I have an equal sign right there. So it's a solid line just like normal. Notice 0, 0 is down here. I can only use this 0 to test. Is 0 greater than 2? This is false. 0 is not bigger than 2. So I shade the side that doesn't have 0, 0 on it. I'm going to shade the side up here. See how that's on the other side of 0, 0? It's on the other side of the line. So that's going to work. So our special cases also work in this situation. Number 13, this is another one of those. I'm going to get the opposite of negative 2. I'm going to take the opposite of positive 3. This is my starting point. So 2 down 3 is down here. I have a 1 right there, so my slope is negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Okay. I'm going to have a solid line because I have an equal sign. So here's my equation, or this is my linear equation. I'm going to try 0, 0. It's on the top of this graph. Plug it in. So I'm going to get 0 plus 3, so y value 0, is less than or equal to negative 0 minus 2. 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Negative times negative 2 is positive 2. Is 3 less than 2? This is false. So I'm going to shade the opposite side of my line. I'm going to shade the 0, 0 was up here. I'm going to shade down here. My solutions, if I picked any points down here, it would give me a true statement. If I picked any points at the side that the 0, 0 is on, it would give me a false statement. X is less than 4. So 4 is right here. This is one of our special cases. It doesn't have a line underneath it, so it's a dotted line. Dotted vertical line. Remember, that's the undefined slope. I'm going to try my 0, 0. The only 0 I can use is the x value there. So is 0 less than 4? Yeah, that's true. I'm going to shade the side that my test point is on, so I'm going to shade over here. And that's where our solution would live, is if I picked any point over here in the blue, it would give me a true statement. If I picked anything on the right side, it would not work. So my friends, your homework is going to be page 153 and 154. Go ahead and try them all. Hello. So do all the problems. Just know this week I will be giving a take-home test on, I'll give it on Wednesday. There will be a video of the entire take-home test. You can use the take-home test on the test that we have. We have an actual test this coming Friday. Okay? I hope you have a nice day. Take care of one another.